Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business coach and author of Food Truck 101, Beginner to Winner. This podcast is all about helping you grow and start your food truck business. Today, we're going to talk about a subject that comes up from time to time on our Facebook group, and that is how to inspect a used trailer or truck to know that you're getting a good value. So the first comment that I want to make is understand that whenever you're going to purchase anything that's used, you're not interested in the life that it's led. What you're interested in is what life is left in that particular truck or trailer. So I'm going to give you a list of things that you're going to need to look at to make sure that you are getting the best value for the money. So we're going to talk about a trailer specifically, but this would also apply to a food truck, with the only difference being if you're doing a food truck, you need to treat that like it's a used car. And if you have the mechanical know-how, you're going to inspect that engine and drivetrain and the braking system just like you would any other used car or truck. If you don't have that ability, bring a mechanic along with you to check out those things. But today I'm going to concentrate on the cooking apparatus and the actual bed or the back part of the truck or the trailer itself. First thing you want to do when you call somebody up and say, hey, I'd love to come check out your food truck or your food trailer, you want to make sure that they have at least 45 minutes to an hour for you to really get into that particular piece of equipment, because you want to make sure that when you drive away with it, everything works the way you expect it to. And if it's not going to work the way you expect it to, then you're able to knock down their asking price. Because remember, whatever price they put on their ad, that's the most you should have to pay. And anything else that you find wrong with it that they haven't already listed as being wrong with it is chipping away at that price. You want to make sure that you're getting the best deal possible. So we're going to start with the propane system. You want to make sure that every piece of equipment that's connected to that propane works. Now, if the person says, well, I don't have any propane in the tank, you say, not a problem, and you go to your vehicle and bring out a propane tank, even if it's a small 20-pounder. You want to make sure there's no propane issues before you write a check or give them cash. So you're going to hook up the propane tank, and then you are going to light all the equipment and make sure that it heats appropriately. If they don't have shortening in the fryers, tell them, no problem. Can you run a garden hose out here and let's fill this up? I want to make sure this thing heats up. Because if you can't prove it heats up and heats up to the right temperatures, then you don't know if you have a working fryer or not. We're going to ding that price. So you're going to test all the equipment. You want to look at the propane tank that does come with the particular trailer and make sure that it's actually in date. A lot of people don't realize that propane tanks have an expiration date on them, and then they have to be recertified. And if this particular vehicle you're looking at is nearing its expiration or is already expired, which is usually the case, that's an expense you've got to have. So now they're selling you something that's not complete. Ding the price. You want to check the water system. You want to make sure there's no leaks in any of the tanks, both the holding and the fresh. You want to look at all the plumbing to make sure there's no leaks. You're going to run water. You're going to turn on the hot water. You're going to test that equipment. You're going to let the water run for a while. You want to make sure that the pump sounds like it's a good quality pump. It's not making all kinds of odd noises and getting ready to give out at any second. You may want to even check the PSI if your state has a PSI threshold they expect you to have on a food truck or trailer. After you've checked the water system and the propane system and you know that all the equipment as far as cooking and holding works properly, you're going to look at the refrigeration and the freezer if they have one. And again, it should be turned on and it should be able to make temperature. So you should have a thermometer with you to make sure it's making temp. Don't rely on their thermometers. Don't rely on anything they give you. You want to verify for yourself with your own equipment it works. Because I can promise you, I've seen a whole bunch of refrigerators where the thermometer in them doesn't work. And it reads the same temperature, whether it's 70 degrees on the interior or it's 10 below. It still reads 36. So you bring your own thermometer that you know works. So once you've gone through all the equipment on the inside to make sure it works, you're also looking underneath all that equipment. What's the cleaning look like that's gone on in this trailer's history? What do the fryers look like down inside the stacks? What do the hoods look like? Remove the filters. Look up into the stack. You're going to look at every possible thing that would either lower the price or encourage you to pay full price. You want to walk around and check all of the windows and push against the wall to see if there's been any leaks around those windows that is rotted. You're going to step on all the parts of the floor to make sure there's no weak spots in the floor. You're going to get under equipment, like I said, and reach as far as you can, push on the walls, push on the floors. You're going to test it all. And once you're satisfied with all the inside, you still have work to do. You're going to get up on the roof and check the roof for all the vents and everything that's on the top to make sure that it's sealed, to make sure the roof is in good quality shape. Because if you're inspecting it, most likely it's not raining. So you're not going to have an idea if the roof leaks. So you need to really give it a thorough visual inspection to make sure that there are no problems with the sealant, to make sure there's no gaps in sealing around either vent work, around the hood, around the air conditioner. If it just has air vents, you want to make sure those are all sealed properly. Make sure there's no grease runoff and that type of thing on the roof from the hood vent. So you're going to check everything on the roof, but you're still not done. Then you're going to get down on the ground and crawl up underneath it. You're looking at the leaf springs, the suspension system. You're looking for rust underneath. You're looking at the frame. Is a good solid frame. If they've got the little plastic protectors that makes the bottom of the trailer look nice and solid, take those protectors down. So that means you got to bring your own little toolkit with you, with the basic screwdrivers and wrenches, that type of thing, so that you can pull those down and look at them and see what's up underneath those panels. Because that could be where all the rust is hiding. Could be little animals in there that are chewing on the wiring. You want to check all of that out. If it comes with a generator, you want to make sure the generator fires up and runs properly. And you're going to check all that equipment that's attached to it to make sure it's not tripping breakers. If it doesn't come with a generator, you want to, at the very least, be able to plug that into the owner's electric to be able to verify all the electric equipment works, including all the lights and the hood and that type of thing. If it has awnings, you want to make sure the awnings work properly. You don't want the awning to fall on somebody's head. If it's got an automatic awning, you want to make sure it opens and closes the way you expect. You're going to check the outside walls all the way around it, all around the doors. Again, looking for leaks to make sure there's no weak spots in the walls. You're going to look at the rivets and all the different panels if it's got rivets in it. You're looking at the molding that goes around the vehicle. Does the molding look like it's in its original condition, or has it been patchworked? Are there dents? Are there any other imperfections in that particular piece of equipment as far as the trailer body goes? So now you're looking at it from the standpoint, is this a nice looking pristine body? How's it going to look when I go to wrap it? How's it going to look when I go to apply decals? All of these things matter. All of these things are very important to the future of your business. So you can't just run through it and go, ooh, everything works. Here's your full asking price. So we're going to continue on with the inspection of the road worthiness of a trailer or a truck. You're going to make sure all the lighting system works the way it's supposed to. The brake lights work. The turn indicators work. You want to look at the condition of the tires. How long is it going to be before you need to buy new tires? You want to make sure that the tires have the correct air pressure. So you should bring a pressure gauge with you. You're going to look for signs of leaks and patches. Do they have a spare? If at all possible, you want to hook up and move that trailer at least a few feet and listen for grinding noises, rubbing noises. Does it sound like it should sound when you pull it? You want to look at any welding, anywhere that's on the trailer, on the framework, on the walls, anywhere that they have a weld. Are the welds still in good shape? You want to look and see if they have any records of maintenance. If you're looking at a food truck, the same deal. When was the last time the oil was changed? When was the last time that they had any kind of brake work done? You want to look at maintenance records just like you would at a used car. If they have a hood system, you want to make sure that it's actually been inspected and it has a little cleaning sticker on it. You want to make sure that the life that this particular piece of equipment has led has been maintained well. So you're looking for those records. So when you go through all of those things I mentioned, everything that you find that isn't up to your standard is a little ding against the price. So if they're asking $50,000, you find areas that are weak in the floor, for instance, or weak around the windows. You have to decide, can I live with this problem and fix it? And if you can live with the problem and fix it, then you're dinging that price. You're bringing your offer is going to be lower than their asking price. Remember, everything is just a suggested retail price. The person might say that they're firm, but when you point out, here's something I see that's wrong, here's something I see that's wrong, this is going to cost me money to fix this. All of those things add up to a less than full price offer. So don't be afraid to offer someone what you think it's worth, because the only thing they can do is say no. So if somebody's wanting $50,000 out of a truck and I find enough stuff wrong with it that I'm going to only offer 40, I'm going to explain why I'm only offering 40. So once you've decided how much you're going to offer, then you get into that negotiation, and hopefully they will at the very least counter offer and y'all can meet somewhere in the middle. But make sure you're able to explain why you're offering whatever it is you're offering. And if they are a legitimate food truck owner, they will agree with what you are pointing out. Understand that when you go shopping for a used vehicle, just like I opened this podcast with, you don't care what life it's led. Doesn't matter how many years it's been on the road. Doesn't matter how many millions they claim they made in sales. It's a piece of equipment. It's a man-made piece of equipment that devalues over time. Ask any accountant and they'll tell you man-made equipment devalues over time. Go buy a brand new car today and we know that tomorrow it costs way less than we paid for it. I want you guys to get the absolute best deal possible when you go to buy something used. Take your time with it. That way you guys can get the best possible deal and feel confident that whatever you do spend on it is going to last you at least a few seasons so you can recoup all the money you spent and then make a whole bunch more in profit. If you guys are enjoying the podcast, please consider hitting the support button or follow the links in the description and offer any show of support that you can. Every little bit does help keep us going. If you guys love being around like-minded, positive, supportive people, check out our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. There you're going to find a whole ton of information and inspiration from the awesome membership. Thank you guys so much for listening. I certainly hope you're finding all the information useful for your food truck business. Y'all have a great day. Come back tomorrow and I'll have another topic.